I don't need a wheelchair. Like, I am fine. Just feels like I've had a heavy day in the bedroom, which is exactly what I've had.
Bonnie Blue has broken a record. The OnlyFans model reveals that she slept with 1,057 men in 12 hours, breaking the record held by adult film star Lisa Sparks, who in 2004 slept with 919 men in one day. Bonnie posted the video to her Instagram January 12th alongside the caption, "Over 1,000 men in a day. Thank you to all the barely legal, barely breathing, and the husbands." In the video accompanying her post, Bonnie shares how she was feeling after finishing the feat, noting she was actually doing fine.
You've had 1,000 men's inside of you today.
Yeah.
What hurts more, your mouth or your...
Probably done that a little bit. I don't need a wheelchair. Like, I am fine. Just feels like I've had a heavy day in the bedroom, which is exactly what I've had. I think if it had continued how it did for the first sort of 3-4 hours, I would have struggled.
Let's get a round of applause in the room, people. There we go.
In another video on TikTok, the 25-year-old gives a breakdown of what the day had looked like for her.
The big 1,000 was completely done. So it started off, I'll give you a bit of an overview, gangbangs after gangbangs to start with. It was just like, the room was absolutely full. Then we did groups of 5, like one after the other of 5s. I wanted to give people more time, so then it went down to like one-on-ones, didn't it? So like one person would watch whilst I was with somebody, and then it would literally
This is the reason I planned for this so long.
Like
and while her
there's a
initial
why
goal was
to this
1,000
at the
men,
end.
Bonnie actually slept with 1,057, meaning she spent an average of less than 1 minute per man. Her PR team said in a statement to The Sun's Fabulous Online, as she hit 1,000, there were still 57 left in the queue, who Bonnie wanted to pleasure before ending the 12-hour day. And while many might not agree with Bonnie's chosen line of work, she has no regrets about making the move to OnlyFans. She told GB News in December, "I just wanted a better life. I used to work an office job 9 to 5, sit in rush hour, get given 20 days annual leave, and for a while I'd accepted that. But she found herself reflecting on her life and was worried she would regret not having done something more. I started off camming online, just interacting with men over a webcam, and I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed pleasuring them. I enjoyed having pleasure myself as well. So then it quickly escalated to OnlyFans."
All right, guys, what is up? It is Saturday. Football's on, but we're online right now talking about, I guess, OnlyFans, which seems to be pretty popular now, and what's going on with this Bonnie Blue. But my real point of the conversation today is, while she's getting 1,000 men inside of her, it seems like women only care about pleasure these days. Whereas on the other side, we see Wes Huff getting a lot of notoriety. So it seems like women's stock is going down while men's stock is going up. Now, I just want to go around the horn first and get your initial reactions to Miss Bonnie Blue here. Tyrone, let's start with you, man.
You know, hey, we've discussed the other one before. Both of these beasts. You know, they can do what they want. I don't think any pleasure was derived from any of this. It's just attention seeking. You know, we've talked about it on the show before. People used to say, "Hey, I'm going to discover what's over the next hill in order to gain notoriety." Now it's, I'm just going to sleep with 1,000. Next, it'll be 1,500. Okay, to beat this record. So we also talked about sexual transmogrification. Napoleon Hill wrote about it in his original draft of Think and Grow Rich. It's a powerful force. It creates life. It has energies that we have yet to understand involved in it. And if you believe in a such thing as a soul, this again troglodyte, uh, she's trash. I mean, I think it's pathetic. I think it's pretty sad. There's the body autonomy crowd. Oh, you could do what you want. Sure, you can. You can do whatever it is you want to do, uh, and we can characterize you however we want to characterize you for it.
Mm. Anybody fans of South Park?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. All right. So there was a line in there where she said, what'd she say? Shout out to the barely legal, the barely breathing, and the husbands. I don't know if you guys caught that when she said it.
I didn't catch that.
Well, I did.
Hold
No.
on. I'm gonna just freeze frame it. If go ahead and share my screen again. Um, I want you because I want you guys to see this, right? Yeah, y'all see that?
Yeah.
Over 1,000 men in a day. Thank you to the all the barely legal, barely breathing, and husbands.
Well,
Could
you
could
know that the biggest demographic of customers on OnlyFans is men in unsatisfying marriages. In sexless marriages. They make up the largest spending demographic of the customer base by far, like far.
Dude, how did you find that out? How do you know
but
this?
let me. But could this be a succubus?
Oh yeah, that's actually a much better word to describe her than the words that I use. That's it.
I
I
mean, the
mean,
odds are she is a succubus.
yeah, she is. She is.
Yo, dude,
Mm.
Tyrone, I'm impressed. Up until recently, I was one of those guys who didn't know there were two of them. I thought they were the same person. Paul
Okay.
Phillips and Bonnie Blue.
Right.
It's like some generic white girl thing that they're all British, looking like that, and have crazy OnlyFans.
But it may be.
Hmm.
I think society has gotten away from understanding certain forces that exist beyond our modern day human understanding. We think we know everything in the 21st century, of course, right?
You mean we
But
don't?
yeah, I don't. I don't know about you, but uh, like the Kardashians, they also are East Armenian succubi. Okay, sounds crazy to say it, but that's what's going on. Look at every male from O.J. Simpson, okay, on down the line. Look, they turned Bruce Jenner into a woman. Okay,
Oh man, we need to clip that part out because he just called the Kardashians succubi, or is it succubuses? Or
succubi.
Succubi. He's right the first time, but
Yeah,
he's
isn't it?
not wrong. He is right. Any woman who's famous for
I could
being
have sworn that
famous
that
and
was a
sex,
supernatural thing.
It
by
is.
far.
It is a
I really
supernatural
thought that
thing.
was a supernatural thing.
Yeah, the supernatural exists. It is a supernatural
Oh,
thing.
I agree.
I'm
so, CT,
sorry. Like,
respond to these women, man. Like when you saw this clip play, I mean, what was your first what was your first reaction first off?
You asking me? I didn't hear you. You asking me?
Yeah, yeah, CT.
Yeah, who's that for?
You? Oh my God, dude, beautiful, beautiful.
And,
Um,
and
I,
you're a fan of white women.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I am a fan of not just white women, but sex workers, sex working. Uh, Again, this is as old as time. The prostitution industry, and with OnlyFans, which will eventually be an OTC, over the counter stock eventually, with sex bots coming out and other mechanisms for to pleasure a man, or to pleasure a man's satisfactions. I don't see anything wrong with this woman, to be honest with you. She doesn't represent women in their entirety. You don't find most women like this. Yes, do you find promiscuous women? Sure, you do. But this is a good industry. This is big business here, and I wish I could get on this industry. To be completely honest with you, the average woman, again, is not watching her. So so
yeah, but the average woman blames the dude. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
well, I'm just saying this, man. I just say that what she's doing, I support her. Her body, her choice, and you know, um, if anybody doesn't like it in America, I would just suggest you go to a country where women aren't allowed to whore around. Maybe North
Well,
Korea. Maybe.
granted, she's not an American star. She's
Well,
from
I
the
mean,
UK.
okay, a non-Western
Yeah.
country, right? So you have places on the planet where women are walking around with hijabs on all day, and they're not doing thousand men seeing gangbangs. So I say go over there. As long as it's regulated, that's my only argument. If it's not in the street like Folsom in San Francisco, if it's not in the street, I don't think anything of it. So shout out to her.
So if you were in the market for a prostitute, would you
Yeah,
hire her?
of course. Hello, of course, of course, of course. She's a very
So
attractive young whore.
so you know her resume. There's been at
I'm not about to
least
marry the broad. Yeah.
1,057.
If I was in the market for a prostitute, yes, and yeah, she's a whore. I mean, that's
CT,
her
CT.
job.
you wouldn't rent a car that has had 1,000
Isn't
drivers.
that kind of crazy? But all I'm saying is that
Dude, there's prostitution, and then there's this. Like, I
yeah,
gotta
I
be
mean this is
honest,
an
bro.
extreme.
There's two
Right.
sep like
This
there's
is an extreme. Right.
prostitution,
Yeah.
and then there's this. This is
Yeah.
mental illness on full. Like, dude, listen to the arguments that swirl around this. Like, you talked about normal women and how they don't. That's bullshit, because normal women are the ones lining up to defend this woman. That it's all the dudes' fault. The 1,057 dudes who are running train on her. They're the reason this is all messed up.
Yeah.
It's not her who like literally goes into a Starbucks and hits on the guy to try and bang him, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not the woman. It's not her needing the attention. No, it's the men who participate. Now, I'm not saying the men are free of sin in this, but you gotta be kidding me, man. There is
No, the men are definitely
and there's
fraud.
this. This is a separate thing, dude, on a whole nother level. That's
So
my
let me ask this. So Chadwick, let me ask this, man. Let me ask you this. Why are because it we see feminism and we see this move to sexual liberation, which is a result of the feminist movement. Why are women tend to drawn to that drawn in that direction? And then I think this what we see here with Bonnie Blue and whatever the Lily Phillips. That's kind of like the pinnacle of the sexual liberation movement. Because if you say, hey, maybe that's not the best life, like what are you, some type of Jesus freak, or you're trying to police my body? That's kind of response you get. So, how do you, is this one of the pinnacle of the feminist movement? I guess I stated it, but question is, why are women drawn to more of this sexual liberation? Not liberation, but sexuality as their form of freedom.
Because this is the basic and prime example of what I bring up probably every 2-3 weeks. This is mental illness being a part of the whole freedom aspect. Freedom creates mental illness. The choice to the choice to be
Freedom
able to,
creates mental illness.
yeah, I think there is a correlate. You see, okay, I have a definition of freedom, and society has a definition of freedom. Okay, I believe this is one of those instances. I mean, I say it often. I believe pure freedom is strict discipline, but that's the way a guy would think. Okay, society, especially the United States, which has a more liberal mindset, we are getting more conservative as time goes on. What's going on here is we have this thing that this weird thing that takes place in which the more access to stuff, the more freedoms that you have to do whatever you want to do, the more weird and the more strange your mind gets screwed up because of it. It's like porn. Okay, you do porn, and then like 6-7 months later, you're looking at stuff. You're like, how did I get here? You know what I mean? How did I get to this craziness of what I'm looking at, or stuff like that? It gets to a point in which these ladies have been. They're so. It's like their brain is so fried by it that they don't see anything wrong with it. You know what I mean? And that's the mental illness that we all see, or sane people see, that they think absolutely nothing's wrong with. You know what I mean?
I
But
agree with that. I'd also say that you see certain things as precursors to the fall of societies, okay,
mhm.
or the transformation of societies, debauchery, androgyny, okay, again and again and again, you see this. Uh, these women are. Do y'all hear that feedback?
Yeah, who's playing the feed?
Okay. You've got, these women, they're making a mistake that is brought on by the feminist movement. If women truly understood history, they'd understand that they already have power. I mean, this is well documented throughout history. I mean, you've got Cleopatra, you've got biblical accounts of Bathsheba, going all the way back to Eve, where women have power of a different sort to manipulate.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
you've got women in the Bible doing things and convincing men to act in certain ways after God has told them to do otherwise. So women are powerful, okay? It's just that post Gloria Steinem and this BS feminist movement, women have been tricked into thinking, oh, go get an office job and then you have real power. So now that they find that that is empty and void of real meaning, they're searching for meaning with cheap tricks like this debauchery that these two are engaged in.
So isn't it weird that, let me ask you this, isn't it weird that that is what they go to? I mean,
Yeah, that's
so
my question. Like, why is it that? Why
Because
is
it's
it?
easy. It's
no,
Why is
that
easy.
it?
is,
Just open your legs. It's
Well,
easy.
because the
I
interesting thing about
can
that is that because it's that's their power, right?
It
Right?
is.
well
The
no,
the
no,
the,
no,
the
no.
sexual aspect and beauty and feminine, like
That's
that's
it. That's it. Femininity is their power. You're going to say that is correct. People see this as just absolute stupidity. Like
do they?
people, logical people see this as absolute stupidity. And to give a secondary answer to that question, the reason they go to that is because they don't have the it's like, you know what, I have to get past my ego to say, you know what, I need to go off and get some therapy or something like that, instead of making internal changes to get along with how God intended it for us to be together and people to get into society and be together. You have to actually make changes to do that. You have to actually do internal work to actually coexist with somebody else. But no,
So you're
it's
saying it's easy?
I'm saying it's
It's
inordinately
because
easy to just say, you know what, there are a whole bunch of men who, you know what, who can give me attention if I spread my legs for them.
Right, right. But what she in doing that with these two, that now they have no more power. Now they have no more because, quite frankly, chaotic. I wouldn't fuck her with your dick. Okay. Uh,
Thank
there's absolutely no challenge in it. There's no
Yeah, but
chase.
you guys are all missing the point. You
go
are.
ahead, Gimpy. Go ahead,
What's the
Gimpy.
point, Gimp? What's the point, man?
The point is that you can say all that and have all these highfalutin opinions, and I don't disagree that they're not
It's
like
not
wait, hold
highfalutin to
on,
No,
have
hold
the
that's
on.
a
Let me
opinion.
highfalutin.
let me
Well, hold
finish.
up.
Oh, come
It is
on.
not highfalutin to have the opinion that I won't
You don't
have
live in
sex with a
2025.
woman who just had sex with a
I
thousand
don't.
men.
You're not in
That's not
2025. Then. That's
highfalutin.
my point. Is
That's
you don't
reasonable.
live in the reality which exists around you. I didn't say that that's a problem or what you believe is incorrect. But if you go look around, walk, touch grass, look at all the other people. The 80% of the world walking out there is hedonistic degenerates who believe freedom is defined by how hedonistic and degenerate you express yourself. Those women have absolute power because people give them $1 million a month to behave this way. They might not have any immortal soul left. They might have serious mental illness, but we have built a society that rewards all of that specifically in order to maximize capital gain. And you can blame whoever you want for it. But the fact is these two women are superheroes to other people.
To
To
who?
some, to
To the
some,
women who stand up and defend them every single day, go look at the argument, right? Like
to
this is
some.
internet babble for the chronically online, but you have tons of everyday women chronically online sitting there defending them, blaming the men. You have, God damn it, you have her own thank you tells you all the men to blame, including all the married men who, what the what the fuck is that? Right? You talking about morals, standards. These married men are running to bang a piece of dirt, right? Who probably has 12 STDs that no one knows about. Like, again, how do you know that that's like even healthy? That those 1,000 men can pass a blood test? Just saying, like,
Like, I
but we
don't. How
live
do you
in a
do the vetting
society
for a
that
thousand?
empowers people like that, and that's where everybody is missing the point. Is it's not that you guys are wrong; it's that society is wired to make these two people queens and to hold them up as examples of what freedom and self-expression and otherwise, no one would care. No one would log in. It wouldn't be internet babble. It wouldn't be chronically online talk. That's all I'm saying is that you're missing the point because, yes, it is wrong. It's immoral. It's this. It's that. But it doesn't matter. Society rewards her, not that. If it rewarded that, everyone would be doing that to get paid.
Well, I just
Yeah,
want to salute to the chat. Shout out to the chat. This everybody's hanging out with us on a Saturday evening. You know, I know football's on, and a lot of us are haters of the Chiefs and want to see them lose. But shout out to everybody hanging out with us. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and catch us every week for a brand new episode where we're talking about stuff that matters to us. But also check out other Metro Conservative media shows: The Lady Show, Poppin' Politics, KJ Christian Conservative, um, Just the Guys, of course, and All American Talk Show. And then shout out to CT at Chaotic Truth Live, and then Soldiers of Finance with Tyrone. So make sure you follow all those channels. It costs you absolutely nothing. You can do it for free, and it helps support us, and it goes a long way. So I want to kind of dig into that a little bit further, because you guys talked about culture and societies accepting this, right? And I think that is more of a female dominated point of view, because on the flip side, when it comes to content consumption and content creation, the content creators that are more leaning towards like these pleasure type environments, so sex work and whatever stuff that feels good, that they are women. And I was doing a little bit of research this week about YouTube. So YouTube is primarily a male dominated platform. However, that has changed in the U.S. Because it's almost parity. It has a bit of parity between male and female. But when it comes to what shows men consume the most, right? They're more self-help or gaming, of course, right? Gaming, that it's just what it is. Gaming, but it comes into entrepreneurship, self-help, things that build. And one thing that we often hear, especially from the ladies of Pop and Politics, that the men need to step up. The men need to do more. And quite frankly, I agree that men need to do more. However, men are doing more. Men are trying to be leaders and trying to get themselves in a position to do better for their communities, their families, and ultimately the country and their nations that they live in. So what we're seeing, though, especially from a content creation and content consumption perspective, is a very clear kind of divide of what type of content people like to consume. I bring that up because we talked about a couple of weeks ago with Billy Carson and Wes Huff. Wes Huff was a relatively unknown YouTuber. He was a Christian he is a Christian apologist, and he studied a lot of biblical texts and ancient. And you can go and look at his work. You can agree, disagree, but the guy is pretty well versed in the message that he's delivered. Now, he went on a relatively small podcast, shared his story, and debated one of the biggest anti-God or anti-Jesus, let's say, YouTubers out there, Billy Carson. Billy Carson has built his claim to fame, is the foremost leading expert on biblical texts and ancient documents. That's his self-claim. And he also said that nobody would debate him. And when he says this, he doesn't also mention that he's also charging people like 50 grand to debate, but he's saying nobody would take him up on the offer to debate. But it just so happens that one of his producers lives in his neighborhood, invited Wes Huff on, and Billy Carson had this interaction exchange, which turned into more of a debate. But as a result of that, Wes Huff has blown up to now be on the Joe Rogan podcast, which again is a highly is a podcast that a lot of men watch. He's then been on the PBD podcast, which is another podcast that men watch. And so when we see this kind of and within the same week, right, of Bonnie Blue taking on 1,000 men, you see these prominent now Jesus and Christianity being discussed and what's now the mainstream. So when they say it's the men that need to step up, it is men stepping up. But then you contrast that with women still trying to suck men in. Pause. But I mean, I guess that's a good one too. But I want to kind of get your response. Like, are we seeing a rise in Christianity and men wanting to take their place, but then get distracted by these people like Bonnie Blue, or like what does this signify to the culture as a whole? And
Well,
whoever wants
CT,
to
go
go.
ahead.
Yeah, CT, go ahead. Jump
Oh,
in
you
there.
want me to go ahead first? Oh,
Yeah.
Billy Carson's he's a kook. He's a kook. Him and Terrence Howard had a conversation about a month ago. No, about 6 months ago. It sounded like 3-year-olds talking about how quantum mechanics works. Carson is a kook, and he. I don't know how he's gotten this famous. I'm not hating on him, but the guy West, and I didn't watch the whole video. He's pretty impressive. He's pretty impressive. And to answer your question, yes, I do believe that Christianity is on the rise. I believe that a nationalist Christianity is on the rise, more or less focused on um, Christianity from the perspective of Western or Western ideology. Uh, and I've seen it on Twitter, man. I've seen it on Twitter. A lot of young guys, man, Gen Zs, they are self-proclaimed individuals who practice abstinence. Individuals who don't. I remember when I was a younger guy, a lot of my generation drank alcohol. A lot of these kids now, they don't even drink, and they you will reference biblical reasonings why, or I'm a Christian. I don't drink. I don't dwell into certain I forgot the word, but it's a word for it, gluttony, right? So
Yeah.
gluttony is mentioned in the Bible. So I've seen a lot of this on Twitter, man. So maybe this is a good thing, man. Again, Christianity is, if not one of the greatest institutions ever created. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I see it. Yeah, and I support it. Support it.
Right.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Soldiers, let's get you in there, man.
Well, I think that there are multiple societies and uh, traditions operating at once. Okay, so if you go out and you sleep with 1,000 men, that's salacious. Okay, that's going to sell a lot of ads. It's going to get a lot of clicks. However, I bet you have 10 times that amount of women who are getting married, starting families, being productive, and you're not going to hear anything about that. Okay, although it exists in more abundance than this aboriginal behavior exhibited by these two things. Uh, so so you got that. I agree with CT that this whole thing, and to kind of drive the point home, what CT was saying that this guy's a kook. His whole reaction to losing the debate has actually, if he just lost the debate and dropped it, we wouldn't be talking about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
It would be over. Okay, fine, move on. He's made Wes Huff more popular, and he has damaged his own reputation, which to me says something about, well, he's obviously got a lack of public relations skill, and something's going on with the ego there, where it's like The Rock. Okay, he writes these movie contracts where he can never lose a fight, right? And so now look where his career is. People think he's a joke. Uh, it's kind of that same type of thing.
It's the pride before the fall.
Yeah, yeah, good way to sum it up. Yep.
Go ahead, Reason. Let me get you in there.
Well, I believe it has. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, because I know you got something to say about this.
No, it's my thought is, and the reason Christianity, I guess, would be used is because I would probably think more Protestant, meaning like followers of the Bible, because and that's becoming and that's popular now. Okay, that's great, and so the reason, in my opinion, that, and this might seem off just a little bit, but I promise I'll bring it back. The reason I believe it has turned into this, and again, I'm talking Protestant, as in Bible based, is because what's being preached in the church is not something that is pretty much Bible, coming from the Bible. We have these churches today that are, if you spin around 3 times, you'll get a car, or my favorite is, and Logic, you know about this one. My favorite is bring your bills to the altar. No, not get some financial education, but
We're just gonna
hope.
start calling them Billy Carson preachers.
Yeah, them type, hope, not the faith and works aspect of it, in which you come up with a plan, write it down, make it plain, put one step in front of it, and work towards it. No, it's kind of like the lottery. You know what I mean? And that's what it's become. So because of that, men have decided to leave the church. Okay? Men were like, you know what? There is no logic behind any of this. We have to actually give this emotional stuff, because the women are going to end up keeping the lights on. You know, I remember, should I say his name? Okay, so there was a pastor, okay? There was a pastor, okay? He went out to DC. He was in Maryland. He's now in Georgia, I believe.
Oh, you
Okay.
talking about Jamal Bryant?
Oh yeah, see, I was trying to keep it.
Why aren't you not mentioning his name, bro? Like
Because
this.
I don't want to give any extra credit to any stupid stuff. Okay. Anyway, so this guy.
Like here's the thing. I hate to break into it right here, but CT said it a while ago, and I think that needs to be the theme of what we do from now on: is bring back shame. So if there's somebody that or something that needs to be called out,
Okay.
just
Okay.
say it,
I got you. I
please.
got you. So cool. You know what? All right. Sure. Fine. So Jamal Bryant's in DC, and we all go up there, and we're not inside. We're actually outside. There's a group of us who are outside. Okay. And this this dude comes out and he says something to the of to the to, what was it? He was like, yeah. So Jamal Bryant said, if you want a everything blessing, give everything you've got. In other words, whatever you bought with you. Okay, there were chicks dumping their purses out onto the stage. It's the craziest thing, right? Then they're walking out, and you could hear people talking. Hey, how am I going to catch the bus to get home? I gave all my money inside. You know what I mean? And me, I was sitting here like, y'all was stupid enough. And I'm saying this to people as they're walking out. Y'all stupid enough to actually believe that? Like you really believe that? And we as men are not, we don't fall for that garbage. We don't. And then they ask why the men have left the church, is because there's you're not going to get any logical biblical faith-based stuff that you're not.
Right.
So now what happened later down the line is we have this small town Christian apologist, right? Who's talking about things directly from 4th century scripts, okay? No, I'm not talking about if you give me this, give me that, jump up and down. No, he's coming right from the scripts to tell this guy what you're talking about's a lie. And then men are sitting here like, now this is interesting, because this is coming directly from the book. You can't make this shit up from the book. You know what I mean? So that's why I believe that this is a huge comeback for the Bible. Christianity is you could jump that on there or not, but this is a huge comeback for actual followers of the Bible. And the reason it's a slap in the face to women is because we're in a society today in which, if you ask them, are you Christian? The response is, I'm spiritual. Because if you say, yes, I am, that means you have to follow the Bible. And the Bible specifically says God, man, woman. And they don't feel like dealing with that today.
And by and large, and I agree with everything you just said. By and large, the black church, once a pillar of the community, is an absolute joke at this point. For every 100 parishioners, 97 are women. You got the gay choir director. You got the old guy that's just been coming to church for 50 years, so there he is. And then you got the cat that's in church looking, for a lonely church girl, that he can sleep with. Um, that's the state of the black church. And then you got this you, you got this guy in the pulpit like Jamal Bryant. And it's important to note also Jamal Bryant was literally run out of Baltimore
Yeah, he was.
in the wake of the Freddie Gray riots.
PFK boom got
Yes,
that
he did.
man.
He got him out of here. Yeah, he
PFK
did.
boom single-handedly got that man out of
Yes,
Baltimore.
he did. And it is on YouTube if you want to watch it.
Yeah. And
Um,
PFK, man, I don't know if anybody ever met that dude, but that's a I don't know all of his past or anything but that's a decent dude right there. Like I'll go on record saying it. This man has homeschooled his kids.
mhm,
It's just he's one of them old school take care of my community dudes. That's all I got to say about him.
and he did Baltimore a hell of a service by
Yeah.
getting that guy the hell out of here.
Hold on. Super chat.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Imperious, what's up, man?
Shout out to Imperius, $2 super chat. This is Protestant heresy. Let Rome on CT. A resident Roman Catholic.
Is somebody named Rome or who?
No, Imperius wants up here because he's Roman Catholic. He feels he represents the church.
I'm not a Protestant, by the way.
By the way, I just want to point something out to you. So I'll start
go
with I have so much smoke for everything everybody said because you guys think men are you talk like men are better than women. They're not. So first of all, share my screen.
Gotcha.
Okay, this is what happens in Turkey when you try and do the Bonnie Blue, Lauren Phillips. That girl got arrested for posting she's an OnlyFans, but who's getting dragged out in front of her? Her boyfriend. So that's my point. You talk about these women doing this stuff that's
would that be considered
there are
Eastern
men
or Western?
around them that support it. So that's one.
Yeah, but dude, you think
Hold
you
on,
think men really
let's finish. I sat quiet and let
You're
everyone
100%
talk.
correct.
Come on,
Go ahead.
Yeah, don't
Go
indict us
ahead.
because when we talked about this the first time, we did get on the men.
I'm not saying. Hold on. Can I finish?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's one. Two. You talked about this guy going on. So first of all, what's his face? You can say you're the foremost scholar in anything. I refer everybody to Tommy Boy. You could put a piece of shit in a box and throw a guarantee on it. It's still a piece of shit in a box. So that means nothing when people march on title. Then you talked about Rogan and how Wes got on there and men listen to Rogan. Yeah, men listen to Rogan bash God regularly. Men listen to people like Benny Johnson, platform guys like Andrew Tate, who are as godless as it comes, no matter what they say. So yes, men in mass, in the same way you're trying to describe being good, behave badly. There isn't an upswing or a change. This is just the continuous battle between good and evil that is going on at all times. That happens. I'm sorry, I don't see a change where somehow the divide between the Western Catholic Church and the Catholic Church of Rome, literally, and Imperius can say whatever he's about to say in the chat, but the fact is, there is a divide. People do not stand with this Pope in the West. He has a huge problem with the right wing of the Catholic Church in the North American continent. They have a huge ideological difference because he's a socialist. He's basically a communist Pope. Then you talked about the rise of people going back to the church. Yeah, sure. Let's talk about the Unitarianism that's taking hold over the church. I mean, Tyrone referenced it. And you talked about the gay choir, the political flags hanging out the front, the rainbow, the trend, whatever, all the anti-religion stuff. I'm not even picking one over the other. I'm just saying they constantly take stands that counter what the scripture says, and then they selectively interpret scripture so their sin works. I mean, and no group is free of that. I'm just pointing out, I'm trying to counter all the points directly that people may, and it's not to knock. I'm just saying, There's no difference than yesterday to today. There's the same good and evil battle we're entrenched in every minute of every day. There's no upswing, there's no downswing. You're either standing on the front line fighting it, or you're letting it overtake you. Those are the two choices everyone gets. Everything else in between is an excuse we make to make up.
So you don't think more people are coming to the front lines on this? Is what
Maybe, but
So
I don't have
that would
evidence
be the
that
swing,
there are
wouldn't it?
more people going to fight against those people too. I have just as much evidence that there are people rising on the immoral side as we have people rising on the moral side.
Well, of
That's
course,
my
like
point.
any
Like, I
battle,
see it uniquely.
everybody's going to try to recruit for their army in a
I
battle,
agree.
right? Right. And I think we are seeing another rise of Christianity. There's no doubt about it, right?
Right,
A,
but
a
what
Christian a
about
Christian apologist going on the largest podcast in the world, that and it's relative and a relatively unknown guy before 3 weeks ago. I would say that is a rise in Christianity.
and then what
Because it
about
did. Listen,
no one
let me
knew
finish.
Bonnie Blue?
Because it didn't
No one
happen in
knew
the
Bonnie
church.
Blue or Lauren Phillips were. In fact, people thought they were the same person. That's how unknown they were to the general. But now everyone knows them for their immorality and how her family is involved, and the other one's father's involved. I'm sorry. I can
Who's
point to you
celebrating
the
that though?
same level of rise in the immorality to match your rise in
No,
morality.
I think
But
when you look at it
who's celebrating
objectively,
that?
when you look at it objectively and in a facts and data based way, Christianity is on the rise, and
And birth rates are on the decline.
hold on, Christianity is projected to reach 3 billion people globally by 2050. It is on the rise. So again, Bonnie Blue and whatever the hell this other chick's name is, yeah, they're getting clicks because it's abhorrent behavior. That
They
self,
don't identify as
you
religious than ever
you
before.
you getting up and going to work in the morning is not going to make the news because it's mundane. It's what happens every day.
That's
So
but
it's
if
just
you went
like
out and did Mother Teresa level deeds, it would make the news because in Counter they do Mother Teresa level deeds of
there are.
degeneracy, and it's all
It's
over
just
the
like it's
fucking
just
news.
like it's just like from a political standpoint. The left is loud,
So is the
okay,
right.
but they are not legion, okay.
There's the right. But again, this is my point. Is my argument is that you guys are trying to show some distinctive shift towards good versus evil. I am showing you that you are selectively interpreting the data for your own
I'm
interpretation.
not.
I'm
I'm
not saying
going.
it's a bad thing. I'm saying I want good to be winning too. I'm just saying for every example you can give me of good, I can give you a direct counterbalance in the same scope and regard of evil that's current. It's not at like they line up. There is no
And I
big
don't doubt
rise in
that.
the church,
I
but there's
don't doubt
so
that.
many birth rates. Like
But
so,
I
what?
think we're talking
There's
about two
all kinds of
different.
Unitarian churchgoers too.
I
All right.
think we're
So
talking. I think
let's
we're talking about two different things here. Okay, you're talking about the battle between good and evil.
But
Okay, which has
no, I don't
existed.
think men are doing better. My point is to the
I'm
statement
not
of
saying.
men. I don't
Gippy,
think they're
Gippy,
doing.
hold on. You have to let me complete a thought
I'm sorry.
before you go on to a new one. I agree with you that the battle between good and evil, that's something that's been with humanity since, the beginning of time. And yes, that is ongoing. All I'm saying to you is that there are more people choosing Christianity. It is growing. That's a fact. Now, the fact that Wes Huff was on Rogan doesn't say anything about Rogan. He's got a platform. It says more about Huff
No, I was
and
addressing Jovan with his
his
comments.
growing popularity and
No, I
his
get that also as well as him. I know his growing popularity. That's not my point. My point is the statement is that men are doing better, or there's a rise in Christianity. Yes, there's a rise in Christianity, including a direct rise in utilitarian version of Christianity, where they're accepting of things that you would say are not Christian. You yourself would say are not Christian. So how does that count as a positive swing? It's not. It's a corruption in your mind, isn't it? If they're accepting things that you say aren't Christian and there's a rise in
Well,
that,
you're giving me abstracts. You're giving me
there's
abstracts.
a rise in the Unitarian Church and Christian. There's a rise in attendance. You say there's a rise in Christianity. A
All right.
portion
So
of that
Overall,
rise is
let's
Unitarianism,
let's
a
pause
form
right
that
quick.
you don't agree with, right?
Let's pause right quick. Come on. I'm going to share my screen right here
I'm
because
sorry.
I
no, you
want
can.
to get I want to
Oh
because there
Jesus!
like Gippy, you're not wrong in what you're saying.
Right.
But my point, I do want to kind of show like
Oh
who's
God!
supporting what, right? Who's supporting more of the debauchery, and I think it goes back to what Chadwick was saying about how men have left the church because the church, the Unitarian Christians that you're talking to, Gippy, are more supported by women versus men are out here actually seeking. Now, I don't say, I don't think, there's not crossover because there's a lot of women that follow their men, right? Shout out to the 8%. I said I was going to start shouting out the 8%. Hold on, let me share this part of my screen real quick. Shout out to the 8% because
That's
the
the other. That's
92%
the
said
92%.
we didn't rock with you. Shout out to the 8%. So all my 8%ers, we rock with you, all right? But going back here, I just want to kind of show this. I want you first to observe who's around this guy when this happens. So here we go.
What's going on? Wait. Oh, goodness, I got my fun size of it up.
When I think about doing this work, this isn't something I can do without you. So,
Wait, oh my God.
Gregory, this guy, you marry me?
Right.
All right.
I can't do it.
That's enough.
All right, look. And Gimpy, I agree with you because Christianity is like the Baskin Robbins of religions. Okay, it's got 31 different flavors. Okay, so I get what you're saying. Now there is a major religion out there that is far more conservative and far less tolerant of deviation from their norm than the other two major religions. And
That's why I showed that turkey video.
I'm speaking of Islam, right? Okay, so I get what you're saying. I do not disagree with you. All I'm saying is that in general, Christianity is on the rise. In general, but you're right. That looks different depending on what you're doing in that.
But who's supporting each one? Right? We just
I mean,
saw
I get it,
two
dude.
men.
I get that women overwhelmingly support the versions of things that are just not aligned with how we think the world should work or should it work, period. But there are, I get it. Look, I don't want to give men unnecessary smoke. We get it all the time for no reason other than being men. But like, dude, that's what being a man is getting that smoke all the time. And there are too many men still on the wrong side of history. It's just that, like, so all five of us are
Why?
great.
Why? Why are
I
men
don't
on
know.
the
You
wrong
tell
side of
me,
this?
man. If I had that answer, I'd be beating it out of all of them. I'm just saying, like that, like that's the $1,000,000 question, man. But like that's the problem is you can't give us a pat on the back. We don't deserve it. We don't. There are too many of us still fucking around, dude.
CT, I want you to jump in here, man. Like, first off, how do you respond? I mean, I know you're a do funny advocate. How do you respond to the Texas representative? I mean, this is in Congress or whatever it is, the state house or what? I don't even know what it is. But this is in government. Texas State Rep Vinton Jones, representing District 100, kicked off their second term with a special moment, proposing to his partner Gregory Scott at the state capitol. Now, are you going to make men look bad by saying you're a do funny advocate for this, or like what's?
No, I mean, I like do funnies when it comes to being a barista at Starbucks, or even in entertainment. But I feel like the government. Um, Now that's at the state level, right? No, he's
Yeah,
if I'm not
state
mistaken.
state
No,
rep.
he's
That's the Texas State House.
yeah. Oh, Texas State House. Okay,
No, only in Congress do we have troons, man.
yeah. So like I said before, man, I feel like this is a government, a society that is high off the hog. Let's be honest, man. There's no great wars anymore.
You're
There's
right.
no oppression. I said it before, and so we're on easy street here, and so we focus on things that aren't even important. Two do funnies being married in the state capitol, and this is all the people around. Y'all go, boy, girl, boy. And you see the stupid cackling women, they all around, uh, parading this around. I don't know what more to say about it, man. It's not I mean, they have a freedom to do it, but I would feel like, particularly a border state like Texas, they should be more concerned with securing the border than watching two new funnies propose to each other. But hey, man, I guess it's a free country, so I don't know. I don't
Look,
know.
me and Gibby were talking
Yeah,
about this
yeah,
before the show started, and we both agreed that, at least I think we agreed,
yeah.
that we're gonna need, we being humanity,
Mm,
we're gonna need some near extinction
yeah,
level event, okay, in
Hmm.
order to reset. Okay, it can't be done by ethnicity, by government or country. It can't be done by culture. It's got to be a slate cleaning event for the most part. It's got to be something that the dinosaurs they faced. Okay.
I'm
mm.
trying to
Um,
find out what changed his mind because I remember saying we need to burn it all like a year and maybe a year ago,
no, I
year
mean,
and a half ago.
I think CT and I have been on, and I think you might
You
have
want
been
to
as
know the answer to that
well. Hold
reason?
on, Stephen. Hold on. I'm mid thought.
Hanging out on his show.
I'll make it quick.
Mhm.
Uh, we all agreed in that Star Trek thing where they had an event and then from there humanity pretty much reset and went on a different path.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. No, no,
Oh,
but you
just
know what
pause.
changed my opinion? Reason? You know why? Because I hung out with CT and the degenerates that circle his platform, man. Dude, you hang out there long enough, you want to blow up the whole world twice.
Dude, I
So
remember
so
you
you guys
saying
would
you're
agree
like,
with Billy
bro, you
Carson
need
when
to
he
you need
says
to
we
get
have
on
to.
that show.
So you guys would agree with Billy Carson when we say he has to, we have to find another way to survive outside of Earth.
Oh yeah, I
Oh
agree with
yeah,
that.
I agree with that.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
agree with
dude, we have to get beyond living on a single planet. Whatever that takes, we have to
Yeah.
achieve that.
that. Absolutely.
However, society has to change because we have to stop thinking so local. And like globalism isn't the answer either. I'm a big nationalist and empires and conquering and stuff, but we have to like do that proper. If we're
So
gonna be
you're a
one people,
universalist or universist.
yeah, I'm a
Well,
universalist.
yeah,
Like
and
I'd
don't
rather
forget.
reach out and conquer every inch of the universe. Nah, it's not like everybody's fair and square. It's those who win and those who lose. And merit should buy you your way. Like I'm a
Well, be
big
be careful.
meritocracy
Be
guy.
careful because there may be other beings in the universe that
I
have
dude, I would
your
imagine so. I would imagine so. But dude, if they're
yeah.
more powerful than us, do you think they look at us as anything more than ants roaming around on this
It, it
planet?
it depends. It depends. Watch
We
Interstellar. You
got lucky
probably.
that the Vulcans found us first and stuff.
Mm.
I
But
never
look,
thought about that. Wow,
Logic.
I never thought about that.
We got lucky that they found. What if it was the
Yeah,
Romulans?
that's a good point,
Wow.
Logic.
Oh,
Or the
jeez.
Jem'Hadar?
Logic.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Logic. You've been delving into different aspects of astronomy. You know, this planet does have an expiration date, right?
I mean, I don't know what it is. If it does,
Yeah, it does. It's
well, it's
just the
not something
sun
I'm
will.
worried about.
Well, you should worry about it from a standpoint of whether or not the species can continue to exist. Now, it's not for many, many billions of years into the future, but our sun will go red giant and engulf this planet at
I
some
mean,
point.
so I mean, you can say that's the day the Lord comes back. I mean, at some point, even if you read you read aspects of the Bible and things like that, it says there is an end, right? And I don't
But
understand
it
why we're
also
trying
says,
to
no man knoweth the day or the hour.
correct, correct. So we can say it could be tomorrow, it could be a billion years from now, who knows? So
Mhm.
it's to me like, why am I worried about that?
Well, I think that, again, people like Elon Musk, and I share this view that if you like, let's say something smashed into the earth today, destroyed it completely, okay,
Mm.
such that there is absolutely no evidence of not only the planet but humanity ever existing. Remember, outside of this, that we think this is big and meaningful, but outside of this planet, I mean, you can go to the moon with nothing, okay. So if you believe in the perpetuation of the species, if you believe in God's first commandment, which is be fruitful and multiply, then I think that would mean planning for those types of cosmic contingencies.
Yeah, but it also says, why worry about tomorrow? Tomorrow will take care of itself.
Yeah, the Bible does say that, but the Bible also encourages you to store up for
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Oh yeah, look at the ant, but it doesn't say try to get off the planet.
It,
It
it
doesn't
doesn't
say.
say it doesn't say don't try to get off the planet.
Oh,
I mean, it doesn't, but it doesn't say do it. It just says
It
tomorrow will
doesn't
take
say
care of
it doesn't
itself.
say
You'll
do a
see
lot
what
of
to do.
things.
Yeah,
The
but it
You'll see
Bible
what to
doesn't
didn't
do.
go
say
out and conquer. It basically tells out to be fruitful and multiply and spread out through the planet. In that sense, if you
spread
use
out through creation.
creation through right, the wording of it gives you an exponential multiplier on the
That's right.
effect. You should be able to go. That's what manifest destiny is. Again, that's why I am such a firm believer of empires over nations, because that's what we are supposed to do. That is in our nature, to go out and be conquering and spread and bring the word that we carry, right?
So
Like
right
that's
now,
what
I
it's
think we
supposed
should
to
be
be.
bringing back shame. We should be working on bringing back shame because if we're
I
going
don't
to build
disagree, man.
anything great, we got to be selective.
Discernment requires shame.
Yeah. But
I
guys,
agree.
we're getting close to the end of the time. I
yeah,
want to
yep, yep,
first,
yep.
shout out to everybody on the panel, on the podcast. CT Chaotic Truth Live. You can catch
Right.
him daily. My gosh, I think he's on the internet 35 hours a day. So you can catch him daily over at Chaotic Truth Live. Also
Mhm.
check out Soldiers of Finance. He's starting to do more live streams. He's getting after it right now. So make sure you check him out on Soldiers of
Appreciate that.
Finance on YouTube. Very very impactful and insightful channel. Also, make sure you check out all of Metro Conservative Media's productions. We got just the guys here, popping politics. The ladies are going to be in D.C. tonight, tomorrow, whenever they're going to be out there. They're still going because D.C. is just down the street. But check out Poppin' Politics, KJ Christian Conservative, and the All American Talk Show. Actually, KJ was just on there talking about what were they talking about? They were actually also talking about OnlyFans too. So they had a really interesting conversation. But go ahead and share my screen one last time. Reason. I want to leave and end with this, right? Because when we talked about what's going on in our communities, in our culture, there was this one word that kind of stuck out to me. The word is reprobate. And what does that mean? Reprobate. It's a morally or unprincipled person, one who is predestined to damnation, morally abandoned and lost. And I think we are living in a reprobate culture where a rejection of truth, a rejection of what's right, is po- is more pushed, is mainstream, is popularized. But I do think with the rise and people like Wes Huff going on to Joe Rogan, PBD, we're starting to see a little bit of a shift in that reprobate culture where people are starting to come back to some reality, some introspection of life. It's no longer just about pleasure seeking, but really about empire building. I'm gonna use Gimpy. So in empires always start with self, inspecting yourself, and getting together with people who have the same values. And that's why we're here, just the guys, a community building on shared values, but we're also bringing back shame in 2025. So, no, any closing thoughts? Reason. I'm gonna start with you. We'll just go around the horn. Any closing thoughts?
I just want to say for the people who are here tonight, thank you. We appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. We appreciate you. 2025 is, you know what? I believe it's just going to be a year of work. So, if you guys can stick with us, it would be greatly appreciated. The ones who are here now, it's just, it's going to be a year of just putting one foot in front of the other. And I've at the end of last year, coming into this year, I'm like, all right, I was working last year, but I'm like, now, you know what? This year is going to be a year of true work. You got to do what you have to do now so you can do what you want to do later. And that's just the way I think about it. So, yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Right on. Let me go to soldiers.
Oh no, I just happy to be here discussing these important issues with you know these intellectual guys, and I would just encourage everybody to as Reason said, watch us continue to grow. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much for your support. You could be anywhere, right now. You could be engaged in bread and circuses, but you're here. We appreciate it.
All right, on Gimpy.
Gonna do my best, CT. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the chat. Positivity coming your way. I told you, dude, you hang out on your show long enough, you'll burn the whole world down. But no, guys, thank you for hanging out with us. Really, I love hanging out with you guys every week. Chat, you guys are the best. And shout out to Imperius again for the super chat. Thank you, buddy. One day we will have you up here so you can tarnish this show like you do all the others. And yeah, that's it, man. Have a good weekend,
All right,
people.
real quick, Humble Trades. Hello, everyone. New subs hit from Chaotic Truth. So shout out Cybertoxin, Toxin. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind, to those things which are not convenient. Romans 1:28. Thumbs up. And then go ahead and CT close us out, man.
Oh man, just have a good. See you guys next week, man. And it was another great live stream. Thank you guys so much. Shout out to the chat, man. Thank you so much.
All right, go ahead and kill it, Reason. You're muted.
And we will see you next week. Later.